Hey, how's it going, man?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Go ahead, ask her what you want to ask.
What do you want to know?
Is it B?
No, so I could help you out a little bit. Do you know what one of these is? Have you ever seen one of these before? No? You've seen one of these, right? So this is a tool that they use in construction. You know how when they build houses, right? So this is a tool they use to make sure that the floor is perfectly straight, right?
Level.
Make sure it's perfectly level. So if it's tilting like that, that's not straight, right? If it's tilting like this, that's not straight. It has to be perfectly level, right? So that's what this is. So that's what the word level means, level. So water is actually the #1 tool for measuring level because the water always forms a horizontal line. You see that? No matter how way I tip it, look at that. The water always forms a horizontal line on top. So basically the question is about the physics of water. Now that you understand horizontal and water always forms a horizontal line, right? Which one of them is correct? If you want to look at them again, A or B? Now, right? That's the obvious answer because that's the horizontal line. So basically the reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, in most adults here, and I used to too, believe was B. You know, even though we know it's A because we understand water, right? And the reason why is because, do you believe Earth is a ball? The Earth? Have I taught you that yet? Have you ever seen a globe, like in your classroom when you go to school? Like a globe, have you ever seen that, right? So they tell us Earth is a globe, right? But in order for Earth to be a globe, the water will have to be curving around the globe. Like the lakes that are like even bigger than this lake, they would have to be curving. But we know that water doesn't curve, you know? So this will basically be the #1 experiment that will debunk the Earth being a ball. So the Earth is not a ball, the Earth is a level plane, you know? So I don't know if you ever heard of this topic. I mean, you're kind of young, so probably not. Have you heard of people questioning the globe?
Never really heard
Nah.
about the globe. Like,
So basically, you know how they teach us the Earth is a planet, right? Like the third planet from the sun. Then there's Venus and Mars and all these other planets. So basically, that is just like, so the lights in the sky, basically, they do exist, they're there, but they're not trillions of miles away or even millions of miles away. They're really close, you know, they're, I would say, less than 1,000 miles probably. And they're just lights. We don't even know what they are in reality. So everything about space is just the concept. So this is what the stars look like. Look at that. People zoom in with 83 times zoom.
yeah.
And you can see, basically they twinkle every color of the rainbow. So every star twinkles every color.
So if I was to look in my telescope,
Right.
and I look at a star, that's how they look.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how they look. If you have a really strong one,
a good one.
And then this is how the planets look. They look very similar to the stars. Look at that. So they're about the same distance because, and these used to be called wandering stars. And the reason why is because all these other stars are fixed. So everything spins together in a way in the sky, except for these. All these planets, they have their unique paths. But that's why they were called wandering stars because they're not fixed with all the other ones. They have
We're not a ball.
exactly. We're a level plane. Exactly. So basically this is the floor of the universe. And the lights in the sky are literally there for us to use to navigate. Basically, the sun's there to give us light to see. The moon's there to give us light to see in the night.
Yeah.
And because people always ask, well, the sun is a circle or a ball. The earth must be a ball. Like, no, the sun is a light for us to see. And the earth is the plane of existence. And we need that light to see here. Yeah. You know, just because the sun is a circle or a sphere, that doesn't make the earth a sphere. And if it was, we should be able to measure it. We should be able to measure this curvature at 3 miles. There should be a 6-foot drop. Because they tell us the Earth, because NASA supposedly goes to the moon and they supposedly circle. So and they have to know the size of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it. Yeah. So this is the exact curvature formula. And so at 3 miles, there should be a 6-foot drop. And every mile, it just gets worse. It just gets worse because it has to make a whole circle back to the same spot. So at 3 miles, this will be 3 miles. If we start at 5 feet, at the end, there should be a 6-foot drop, so 11 feet, the gap should increase if we build a perfectly level structure over water. But we all know water is level. We use it in construction, in building bridges, canals. Exactly, people understand the physics of water, you know? The surface is always level. The water never humps up, never tilts, especially once it's contained and it's not moving. Exactly, perfectly level. Exactly. So the reason why they lie to us is to basically make us doubt our own common sense. So if we doubt our own common sense, we basically doubt our intelligence. So we basically make ourselves dumb. So they know that we're all equals. We all have the same 5 senses. We all can think. We can all comprehend basic stuff. And they know that. So what do? they make us doubt our own senses.
Just like how they did with the pandemic.
Yeah, and exactly. So for example, the moon and the sun, they're literally they look the same size and they literally eclipse each other, right?
Yeah.
But what do they tell us? The sun's actually 400 times bigger, but coincidentally 400 times further too.
Yeah.
So they look like they're the same, but they never actually went to measure it because again, nobody's ever gone higher than 20 miles. This is the highest human beings have ever gone. And this is, I mean, a little patch of earth. We can't take a picture of the whole earth. It's impossible. Because we could only go so high.
How they say they land on the moon.
Oh, that's just to basically to sell this lie of the globe, basically.
Yeah.
Because they can't prove it down here. They can't measure it down here. So they just have to make stories. Basically, the whole globe Earth is like the modern day religion. It's like the new age religion. And the reason why is because what do all religions have in common? They give you a creation story. They basically tell you how to live, how to behave, what to do, you know? Give me money. You know, churches are all about money.
Yeah.
Government's all about money. This is basically a tax scam. NASA, it's basically a tax scam. So they basically, they even gave us a god called money because, you know, everybody worships money, you know?
Yeah.
Literally, people would literally think that money is the solution to everything. Just like a religious person thinks that just believing in God is the solution of everything. But the solution is actually doing something, you know?
Prayers.
Yeah.
Gonna tell you
No.
a belief story that.
And they think just believing that's gonna make change. And it's like, no, we have to understand how this reality works. We gotta go back to growing food, believe it or not. That's how we're gonna get back to how we should be living. We all should be growing food. The fact that only like less than 5% feeds the 95% of the population, that doesn't make any sense to me, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that we still throw away a lot of food here in the States, like the New York restaurants, like there's so much wasted food with only less than 5% of the population growing food. Think about it. Imagine over 50% of the population was growing food. Starvation wouldn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everybody's just believing everything they're told, again, because they already they made you dumb yourself down in a way by making you doubt your own common sense.
Like when I tell a lot of people, you know, like the government fooled us. The pandemic.
Basically, yeah.
They said, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta have vaccination,
yeah.
Be better. And look at
everything's.
I didn't get vaccinated.
Exactly.
I feel fucking great. I feel like $100.
No, yeah, and believe it, yeah,
bucks, you know?
yeah.
And
no, yeah.
They just it's just manipulating to tell you say like how you say it. Like you just said, like a story.
Yeah, it's just basically every liar has to have a story. Literally. Exactly. So that's what space is, and instead of focusing on measuring the water, basically, they'll just point at the sky. Oh, but look at the sun, and look at the moon, and look at Mars, and everything, but down here.
Space, the planet looks like a big old circle.
Look, we found 10 more Earth-like planets, like you know what I'm saying, but they're CGI. You know what I'm saying?
I
like,
always thought about that, like how are we in a planet? Like, but when they show the state,
it's well, every map has to be level because maps.
There's no way it's going like this.
Exactly.
Ball,
exactly.
You know, we're like on the halfway. You
yeah.
know,
and another.
We're all equal going straight. You know, things. That's why I don't understand. Like when they say, "Oh, there's a globe. We're in a globe. We're in a planet." How?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Water is straight. When you go to a beach, the water, it's not. We're not going like this.
Yeah, and it's not bending either.
It's not going halfway at an arc.
No, yeah, it's not. So no,
I believe what you're talking about. Like,
no, yeah, it's just literally about understanding how physics works, simple physics. So, pressure, right? Air pressure. When we fill up a balloon, it expands, right? Because the air pressure increases, so it presses against the balloon.
What was that?
Over he has an egg.
Let me see. It could be an egg from the tree, bro.
All right, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, okay. You got one, right? Or here, take one. There's some websites on there.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about it, like people have questions about other things, like the seasons and stuff, how the seasons work and all that. You could get explanations on those websites for everything. But ultimately, this will be the #1 proof at the end of the day, though. But yeah, man, thanks for stopping, man. Have a good one. Yeah. All right, bye-bye.